Our headlines this hour: INEC publishes notice of Surulere by-election in Lagos State. And NEMED predicts 3-day sunshine and hazy weather. Plus, 4 dead and 22 injured in Indonesia's train collision. Well, hello and a very warm welcome. This is News Live on Viewer Television. I am Chinonso Chekwers. And we begin the news tonight with some new appointments announcements as President Bola Tinubu has recently unveiled the appointments of executive directors to key positions within the Nigerian Ports Authority and the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency (NIMASA), both falling under the jurisdiction of the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. In the Nigerian Ports Authority, Ms. Vivian Richard has been designated as the Executive Director of Finance and Administration. Engineer Olalekan Badmus is set to serve as the Executive Director of Marine and Operations, and Engineer Ibrahim Umar has been appointed as the Executive Director of Engineering and Technical Services. For the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Mr. Jibril Abba has been chosen as the Executive Director of Maritime Labor and Cabotage Services. Chudi Ofodile will assume the role of Executive Director of Finance and Administration, and Engineer Fatai Taye Adeyemi has been named the Executive Director of Operations. The official announcement made by Ajuri Ingelali, the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to President Tinubu, expressed the President's confidence in the appointees. And also, President Bola Tinubu has approved the extension of the Yuletide free train service till Sunday, January 7th, 2024. And Tinubu said this is meant to allow more Nigerians who are yet to return to their stations following the Christmas and New Year celebrations. The spokesperson of the NRC, Damilola Kalejaye, also advised passengers on how to enjoy the extension. You recall that the federal government, prior to the Christmas and New Year festivities, announced the free train service on all service routes and 50% rebate on road transportation from December 21st, 2023 to January 4th, 2024 on specific routes. The government said this was meant to reduce the burden of high cost of public transportation during the just concluded Christmas and New Year holidays. And the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Lagos State has published the notice of the Surulere Federal Constituency by-election as required by law. An INEC Public Affairs Officer in Lagos State, Adenike Oriowo, told newsmen that the notice was pasted at the Commission's headquarters in Saboyaba for public viewing. She said that INEC had commenced implementation of activities and timetable for the elections. The spokesperson added that INEC's preparations were on top gear to ensure strict adherence to relevant laws and guidelines for the poll. And according to her, the Commission will not fail to deliver a credible by-election in the constituency. You recall that INEC has fixed February 3rd of 2024 for the conduct of rerun and by-elections in 9 states, including Surulere Federal Constituency in Lagos State. And the public campaigns by political parties will commence on January 18th and end on February 1st. And the leaders of Masalachin Eid Shop Owners and Traders Association said over 30 people lost their lives during and after the demolition of shops at Eid Ground by Kano State government. A legal counsel to the traders, Maruf Muhammad Yakasai, said the state government has paid the sum of 1 billion naira for the demolition of his clients' properties, but insisted justice must be done to those who died or suffered injuries as a result of the demolition. The victims said they also want the criminal aspect of the demolition investigated and the culprits punished according to the law. And the association had dragged Kano State government to court, claiming damages of 250 billion naira, but the court ordered the state government to pay 30 billion naira as compensation for the demolition of more than 6,000 of their shops at the Eid Ground. However, through out-of-court settlement, an agreement was reached that the state government will pay 3 billion naira in 3 tranches. And the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawali, has presented two high-tech unmanned water vessels to President Bola Tinubu. The two unmanned ships were donated by Swift Ship Company in United States to Nigerian government. The Director of Press and Public Relations in the Ministry of Defense, Henshaw Ogubike, said this in a statement on Friday. He said the ships S2 and S3 Swift Sea Stalkers are to help in the fight against insecurity on the waterways. And according to the statement, Matawali told President Tinubu while presenting the two versions of the equipment at the presidential villa in Abuja that the equipment were latest technologies that will be deployed in fighting insecurity in Niger Delta, Lake Chad region, and other maritime regions of the country. The minister reassured the president that the cutting-edge military and intelligence hardware capabilities presented to him would go a long way in the fight against insecurity in Nigeria. And when NEWSLIVE returns, the youth wing of the Southern Kaduna People's Union has condemned the arrest of 4 youths originally from Kaduna residing in Lagos State seeking enlistment into the Nigerian Army. The details of this and more comes to you right after the break.
Ouvindo esse som, pulsando seco no ar, merece nossa atenção. Preparem bem os sensores para poder captar. Parem usinas motores.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is NEWSLIVE on Viewer Television, and now let's give you a recap of our top stories. INEC publishes notice of Surulere by-election in Lagos State. And NEMED predicts 3-day sunshine and hazy weather. Plus, 4 dead and 22 injured in Indonesia's train collision. And the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NEMET, has predicted sunny and hazy atmospheric conditions from Friday to Sunday across the country. A NEMET's weather outlook released in Abuja predicted a slight dust haze on Friday over the northern region during the forecast period. And according to the agency, a sunny and hazy atmosphere is anticipated over the north-central region throughout the forecast period. It envisaged sunny skies with patches of clouds in a hazy atmosphere over the inland cities of the south. The agency anticipated coastal cities in the south with prospects of isolated thunderstorms over parts of Ogun, Edo, Ondo, Lagos, Delta, Rivers, and Bayelsa states during the afternoon and evening periods. NEMET also predicted a sunny and hazy atmosphere on Sunday over the northern region during the period. It anticipated a slight dust haze over the north-central region during the forecast period. And in other news, the youth wing of the Southern Kaduna People's Union has condemned the arrest of 4 youths originally from Kaduna residing in Lagos State seeking enlistment into the Nigerian Army. The union's national coordinator, Isaac John, in a statement said the constitution defines Nigerian citizenship and the Nigerian military outlines specific requirements and eligibility criteria for enlistment, none of which pertains to linguistic or tribal considerations, such as the ability to speak Yoruba. A newsman report that the Lagos State government called for the arrest and trial of 6 northern candidates participating in the Nigerian Army recruitment process who claim to be indigents of the state. And it will be recalled that a viral video surfaced early on Wednesday showing 6 candidates in the recruitment process who hailed from Kaduna State claiming Kosofo local government area, Lagos Island local government area, and Oshodi Isolu local government area, respectively, as their local governments of origin. And by claiming to be from Lagos, the candidates intended to secure the slots designated to Lagos State indigents. And the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, said it does not have evidence to support its charges of fraud, bribery, and conspiracy against former Attorney General of the Federation, Mohammed Adoke. In its response to the no-case submission filed by Adoke, who was listed as the first defendant in the charges, all related to the OPL 245 transaction of 2011, the EFCC informed the FCT High Court that it will not oppose the application. The anti-graft agency also stated that it will not oppose the no-case applications by other defendants, Aliyu Abubakar, Raski Binige of Malibu Oil and Gas Limited Company Secretary, Malibu Oil and Gas Limited, Nigeria Ajib Exploration Limited, Shell Ultra Deep Nigeria Limited, and Shell Nigeria Exploration Production Company Limited over some of the charges. The EFCC, however, said that Binigi has a case to answer over the alleged forgery of company documents to remove the name of Mohammed Abacha as a director of Malibu Oil and Gas. Recall that the EFCC had charged Adoke before the FCT High Court in Abuja, alleging that he collected a gratification of 300 million naira from Abubakar over the OPL 245 resolution. And the Northern Governors Forum has praised President Bola Tinubu for making efforts to probe the security crisis in Plateau and Kaduna states in order to prevent a reoccurrence. The chairman of the forum and Gombe State Governor Inuwa Yahaya, who gave the commendation in Hausa language on behalf of the body, also thanked the president for supporting the survivors and victims of other crises. Yahaya addressed reporters at the presidential villa in Abuja after a meeting with President Tinubu. Commenting on Plateau killings, the governor noted that it was not a new thing, but said there was need for a review of the immediate and remote causes to find a lasting solution. He added that it is time for stakeholders to have a roundtable and tell each other the truth and then take deliberate steps toward loving each other. Yahaya emphasized that before now, the people were living in peace and going about their normal businesses. And in Borno State, Police Command says it has arrested 85 suspects involved in culpable homicide, theft, as well as illegal possession of arms, among other crimes in the past 3 months. According to the command, 27 suspects were convicted in the period under review after the arrest. And our correspondent, Beatrice Kurusi, has more.
Among the 85 suspects paraded at the Borno Police Command are 5 suspects found with fake Naira notes. Other suspects were arrested for criminal conspiracy, theft, possession of dangerous weapons, and illicit drugs.
A tip-off was received by police crack operative FOB, that is Forward Operation Base in Bill, in collaboration with Bill Division and local hunters of Meringa village, arrested and brought one Shuaibu Alhaji Saleh, 27 years old of Birum village, Bill local government, in possession of a locally made pistol. The suspect confessed to have acquired the locally made pistol from one Abubakar M of Kalimbo village, Babangida local government, Yobe state. Receiving a tip-off by the local government chairman of Biu local government, 5 number suspects were arrested with counterfeit notes of 1,000 naira denomination, amounting to 352,000 naira fake notes. Suspects have been paraded before you, and further brief will be discussed during the briefing.
The police, during the course of its arrest, recovered exhibits from the suspects, which include locally made pistol, 352,000 naira fake notes, 30 parcels of Indian hemp, and knives, among others.
A cikin leda shi da aka same ni da aka ce mara ina kudin sai na ce ya bani ajiya aka ce iya nan ko ka kashe na ce iya nan sai aka ɗaure ni muka je sai na ce to ga inda ka aje.
They gave me 202,000 naira for keeps. Yesterday, I was called by the police and taken to someone's house. When I got there, I was asked to bring the money. It was at that point that I was arrested.
When I steal phones, I hand them over to another person, now at large, who sell them for 10,000 naira or trade them for something else. I have been stealing phones for the past 5 years. I can't count how many times I have stolen.
The Borno Police Command says it is currently handling 49 cases with 31 suspects charged to court, while 14 cases are still under investigation. It said it will enforce the Borno State Penal Code on crimes committed by the suspects.
And now in kickstarting the new year, the Nigeria Customs Service Federal Operation Unit, Zone B in Kaduna, has unveiled their latest activities on the anti-smuggling operation in November as well as December 2023. While briefing journalists at the unit headquarters in Kaduna, the Custom Controller Da'ala Wadda says onslaught by its operatives during the period under review has yielded a total of 71 seizures and 12 different items intercepted at various locations in the zone, which are of grave implications to the health and safety of Nigerians.
The breakdown shows that due to the positive use of credible intelligence by the FOEs on B operatives, 8 used vehicles as well as 2 means of conveyance vehicles were impounded during the period under review. Also, as a result of the constant patrol of our operatives, the unit was able to seize 195 bags of foreign parboiled rice, 50 kg each, which will have their way into the market and consumed by the people despite the hazards some of such imported grains pose to health.
Of the media ineffective information dissemination, the Comptroller Nigeria Customs Kaduna Unit also assures readiness to clamp down perpetrators across his jurisdiction in 2024.
Citizenry through you, members of the media, that the operatives of the unit in this new year are poised like never before to foil all attempts by smugglers at importing any prohibited goods into this area of jurisdiction, as well as to cover all unpaid duties into the government coffers.
And you're live on Viewer Television. News comes to you. Many thanks for staying with us now on Business News tonight. The federal government has commenced discussions with Liu Stain Holding Group, a Chinese company, to establish a new steel plant in Nigeria to begin manufacturing of military hardware at the Ajaokuta steel plant. The partnership between the government and Luin Group signifies commitment to revitalizing the steel industry in Nigeria. The Minister of Steel Development, Shuaibu Abubakar Audu, in a statement by his press and public relations aide, Salamatu Jibinai, said the trip to China was one of the steps taken to realize the goals of reviving the steel industry in Nigeria, in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. Audu expressed optimism that commercial steel production at several government-owned entities in Nigeria will commence before the end of President Tinubu's administration. And this achievement will mark a significant milestone in the country's industrialization efforts. He added that it is a step in the right direction, contributing to economic growth, job creation, and enhanced security for the nation. And Nigeria ranked 97 out of 153 countries in 2023 on the Competitive Industrial Performance Index, partly because of the government's foreign exchange access restrictions and import bans, according to the World Bank. And this was revealed in its latest Nigeria Development Update for December 2023, titled Turning the Corner from Reforms and Renewed Hope. The report, produced biannually, assesses immediate economic developments and prospects in Nigeria. We recall that on 23rd of June 2015, the CBN prohibited 40 items, later 43, from assessing foreign exchange in the Nigerian market, including rice, cement, and city. In a circular released by the Central Bank of Nigeria, the restrictions pushed importers into the parallel market, increasing demand for foreign exchange and prices. Additional pressures widened the gap between the parallel market and the official rate and caused the prices of affected goods to rise. The European Union stated that the measure had significant consequences on the economy and people's standard of living. And the president, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Abubakar Gandhi, has reiterated that any talks of petrol pump price increase is mere rumor. Gandhi, in a telephone conversation, has explained that though private depots in Lagos sell the product at 621 naira per litre, IPMAN members in the axis have been able to stick to the current retail price of between 600 and 630 naira per litre at the pumps because they get their supplies mainly from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited at 568 naira per litre. In a related development, the National President, Petroleum Retailers Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Dr. Billy Gillis Harry, said the federal government and the NNPCL ought to be celebrated for the stabilization of fuel prices without the need for subsidy payments. He spoke in an interview with newsmen while examining issues around the alleged ongoing subsidy payments because of a purported discrepancy between the retail price of petroleum products and the landing cost of petroleum in the country. And Nigeria is projected to see a slight improvement in its gross domestic product (GDP) growth to 3.1% in 2024 from an estimate of 3.0% in 2023 on the back of its policy reforms, according to the United Nations. And this was revealed in its latest 2024 World Economic Situation and Prospects report. The report comes amid stark global economic inequalities and high geopolitical tensions. It said, however, that ballooning public debts, persistent inflation, and a rising cost of living, together with a weak business environment, will pose a downward risk to growth prospects. The Intergovernmental Organization added that economic growth in Africa is estimated to have decelerated from 3.5% in 2022 to 3.3% in 2023. And now on the international scene, 4 people were killed and at least 22 injured when 2 trains carrying hundreds of passengers collided in Indonesia on Friday, officials have said. The front carriages of both trains were a mangled wreck, while others further back had derailed and overturned on a stretch of tracks cutting through rice fields in West Java province. No fatalities have been reported among the nearly 500 passengers on board, with all 4 deaths reported so far involving train crew. The crash between an intra-city train carrying 287 passengers and a local line with 191 on board took place at about 6:03 a.m. local time near Sikalenga, railway operators Kia said. The number of injuries reported have varied and police have put the number at 37, while the railway operator said 22 people were injured. The police spokesperson, Ibrahim Tompo, said all passengers have been evacuated, with those injured taken to local hospitals. And the French President Emmanuel Macron has praised former finance minister and the European Union leader Jacques Delors at a state funeral, saying he had reconciled Europe with its future. The statesman, who died aged 98 on December 27th, was Brussels' driving force during the EU's greatest period of integration, the creation of the single market and the euro. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Parliament Speaker Roberta Metsola were among European officials who attended. Also present were national leaders from around Europe, including Belgian Prime Minister Alexander De Croo and Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, as well as Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. And Delors was president of the European Commission from 1985 to 1995, stepping down after disappointing his French supporters by declining to stand for office as president of his homeland. And the Serbian government announced plans to reinstate mandatory military service for young people in the country, saying it will heal the entire society. And the Serbian army and the Ministry of Defense have prepared a strong argument if military service is reinstated. The proposal is for 4 months of training. The Serbian Defense Minister Milov Vuski told newsmen. Recall that in 2011, the Serbian government decided to suspend mandatory military service, which was for young men only. According to Vucevic, introducing military service will be beneficial to the entire society and will be more in line with modern life. And he did not specify the age of those who will be enrolled for mandatory military service, or whether only young men will be asked to get training, or whether young women will also be listed for the training. And the United States has rejected any suggestion that it or its ally Israel was behind deadly blast in Iran, and warned against further escalation after a suspected Israeli attack on a Hamas leader in Lebanon. At least 84 people died in southern Iran at the grave of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps General Qasem Soleimani, as mourners gathered exactly 4 years after he was killed in the U.S. drone strike. Iran's leaders vowed revenge for the attack, and though without openly accusing Israel. However, Iran's deputy parliament speaker claimed it had the signs of an Israeli assault because it didn't involve suicide bombers. A senior administration official later briefing reporters said the attack was similar to previous ones carried out by ISIS. The blast on the anniversary of Soleimani's assassination came 1 day after a suspected Israeli attack killed the deputy leader of the Palestinian terror group Hamas, Salah al-Abrau, in the southern suburb of Lebanon's capital Beirut, that are a stronghold of the Iran-backed Hezbollah movement.
Loved ones who died in this horrific explosion. As I said, it's too early, at least for us, to be able to say what might have caused it. But I do want to address some of the irresponsible claims that I have seen circulate and say that, number one, the United States was not involved in any way, and any suggestion to the contrary is ridiculous. And number two, we have no reason to believe that Israel was involved.
And that's all on News Live. But before we go, let's give you a recap of our headlines. INEC publishes notice of Surulere by-election in Lagos State. NEMET has predicted 3-day sunshine and hazy weather. Plus, 4 dead and 22 injured in Indonesia train collision. And many thanks for watching. I am Chinonso Chekwas. Please do stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a good night.